Hi friends. Um, I have several written journals and 12D conversations that I could share, but I'm too full of it today. It's a Jaguar day. It's 11 Jaguar, and for some reason, it doesn't matter what the number is. If the day is Jaguar or Eagle, I'm empowered. Um, I subscribe to stariq.com, has some services, and one of the ones, it's free, one of the ones I really like is they give a short 1 or 2 minute, usually 1.5 minutes or so, reading on the day's astrology. And, I don't look at it every day. Uh, I go through long periods where it pops up and I just delete it. But when I do look at it, it's generally not first thing in the morning. I don't want it to color my day. And so I'll go through the day or most of it before I have a look-see uh, and hear what some of the influences are. Now, a heart guides differently sometimes, but in general, I'm not looking to anything to program me. I would rather see things and then hear someone's insight and see how it applies. Um, and a lot of times it's the same with the Mayan calendar. I really love it. It's a spiritual thing. It's not based on something mechanical like the Julian and the Gregorian calendar is. And it's a funny thing when you stop and ponder. We talk about a year. Well, a year is very earth-centric, the, the way we're seeing it. And so, what if you're speaking with an ET who's from elsewhere and whose planet has a completely different uh, set of revolutions and cycles? The kind of year we're talking about here doesn't make sense off planet. So that's one thing to consider. Um, One of the things that Alex Collier said when talking about time, uh, he was giving a lecture on history as the Andromedans see it. And he was trying to correlate it directly with history, the way mankind reads it, the various, ages and so on, and what was going on. And he said that the A's, as he calls them, the Andromedans, had a pretty big challenge in trying to convert their understandings into Earth years. And so he asked them about that, and they, what was a year to them? And what he reports is that a year to them is the time it takes every cell in their body to die and recycle. And he said it correlated to approximately 7 of our years. Well, there's something that's not Earth-based. It's species-based. There's a lot of different ways to look at time. And I love knowing that even just in the next density or dimension up, time is not the limit that it is here. Here we move freely through the 3 dimensions of space, and then we have one of time. And by adding the dimension of time in, which you need to do or you have no movement, you have things and just static. So some say that's already the 4th dimension, the 3D of time, of space, and 1D of time. And perhaps you've read or heard, as I have, about the mirror image of this that we have, which is 3 dimensions of time and 1 of space. And so time is extremely easy to move through. Or you can look at people experiencing their life review, if they're having an NDE and the body's down there dead or nearly so, and they're reviewing their entire life, they're in those times and places with the speed of thought. Faster than that, actually, I suppose. Time, I enjoy understanding that our concept of time is very limiting and restricting, but it's a product of 3D. And that as we transcend 3D or enter into our own multi-dimensionality, which is right here, right now, we don't face those kind of restrictions. People very commonly, when they're out of body, the minute they think of someone, they're visiting that one. Well, you can do it with place and you can do it with time as well. And so it's all controlled by thought. Oh, and I copied down a quote. I don't do this very often, but I want to share it with you. It's something that Stewart Swerdlow says, and it's about how thought creates. And you hear me saying that again and again. He says, thoughts are like film. The brain is the projector. Physical reality is the screen. Let that sink in. Thoughts are like film. The brain is the projector that the thoughts run through. Physical reality is the screen on which the thoughts are projected. To me, it's exquisite. It's a lovely analogy that says so much in such a few words. Okay, now I may be a little bit all over the place here, but I went through a time in this life of a period of years, and I couldn't tell you how many. It might have been a decade, where I couldn't read. It wasn't that the eyes and the body and the brain were unable. It was something else. I would pick up a book and just get a yucky feeling. It was unpleasant. And I finally found that I couldn't even read a dust jacket. Now, I didn't understand this at all. I have a library of, I don't know, perhaps I've given away a lot. Over time, I'm sure I've had more than 1,000 books. And I was a reader and loved it, learned a lot that way, and it's been a lot of years since I picked up any kind of fiction, unless that fiction had a real point. For instance, what was it called? The 10th Insight, something like that. You know, sometimes fiction is used to display reality and can do a better job than trying to just lay something out and give you just the facts. All right, so something's changed, and all of a sudden, I have a whole bunch of books around me again. Most that I've just bought. And I'm really excited about this one. It's called Take Off Your Glasses and See. And it's by Dr. Jacob Liberman, OD, PhD. Now, this isn't just for physical eyesight. This is for vision. And that's what excites me so much. I am only 14 pages in. And when I get out the highlighter and I start underlining and that kind of thing. It's something really special. I even have a second bookmark in there for the notes, so when there's a footnote, I can go right to it and see if it's something that's interesting enough to read. If it's just a reference, I don't care as much. So I want to recommend this to you, and I'm also giving you a link to a very special interview of this guy by Lilu Mace. Now, Lilu can be a little overpowering for some people. She's very, very upbeat and energetic and positive and cheery and bright and so on. In this interview, she mostly just let him speak. And he was able to share what comes from his heart very clearly. The guy lives in Maui. You know, a lot of really together people seem to live in Hawaii. Interesting, isn't it? So, those are the sharings I want to do with you at this point. I could go into lots and lots more, but I think that's enough for now. So, what's in my heart? It's empty. I'm not hearing anything. So I had this open just in case. This wasn't the journal I intended to read. It's a more recent one. It's from December 3rd. The Mayan day was 12 wind. But, and you'll probably be watching this on another 12 day. Tomorrow is 12 eagle. But serendipitously, it came up, and so here we go. Let's see what we discover together here. The energy is still rising, at least for me. Here I am back journaling again when I just finished recording 2 and uploading 1. The second one is converting now, yet here I am. Not sure why, as usual. It doesn't matter. Just doing what feels good. Life is nice like that. Not from the mind, though. Be sure it's from heart, and I hope you're doing a lot of the same. It's time we were having a lot more fun here. Letting up on the self. We create a whole lot of our own misery. The dog, my little dog Kismet, startles me sometimes with his loud bark, especially if I'm meditating or something. Now, you wouldn't think such a little guy could make that much noise, but he manages. Now, I don't much like it, nor do I like scolding him, which is what I watch the self do when I startle. Not so hot. That's a knee-jerk reaction, not a response. So, I just watched something much nicer. I made a call for help to my guide, asking her to talk to Kismet for me, to explain to him how such loud barking into the silence bothers me. So could he please just tone it down a bit? I recognize that he wants to alert me to something. Hey, he has the right. Come on, he's a dog. It's what dogs do. So we'll compromise. I'll get some heavenly help until I can get through to him directly. If he'll go along, that will be oh so nice. No loud barking, no yelling. That's a win-win. Okay, now I wrote this on the 3rd. It is now the 15th, and it has been massively successful. He starts out his barking softer. If he's going to bark really loud, he's in another room. And I would say it was a complete success. I would much rather, I tried to convey this to him. but maybe just wasn't able to tune into the right channel. And I really look forward to that with all my heart, being able to truly talk to the animals. You know, they talk to one another all the time. They're connected on layers and levels where we're connected too, but we've shut ourselves out from those areas or aspects of our being. We've blinded ourselves to so many things. And so that's, oh, I'm really looking forward to it. Even the trees, you know. I forget who it was, but someone was a nature lover, like many of us are, and loved to embrace the trees. And there was this one particular tree that didn't want to be embraced. Well, I think it's really good to know that. You know, instead of being so overpowering as if we're in charge here and we rule things. I mean, that's already gone. It's not that it's got to go. It's already gone. And we're all, I think, getting in tune, those of us who are awake, getting in tune with the new way, which is integrity, respect, and honor for all life, including the self and each other, of course. Okay, back to the journal. Now, you may laugh if you like, but Ken, the healer I work with, the distance healer, tells me there are Bigfoot creatures in my neck of the woods. He has sensed them on numerous occasions. He says they come close in out of curiosity. I haven't experienced them yet. I'm not unwilling, but not eager either. Gee, I hear they're like 7 feet tall or something. Now, telepathy would be nice, but barring that, I don't know how we'd communicate. Anyway, it's interesting. I'm sure there are many more beings that we share the planet with than we have a clue about. These Bigfoot beings, they might even be multidimensional. Now, maybe not, but there's no doubt some reason we never find they're dead. They're skeletons. They take care of that somehow, unless they're immortal, and I really think not. Like I said, interesting. Hey, life is fun. The more we make peace with the self, the more peace will break out in the world. It will overcome war easily. It's another one of those choices I'm so fond of mentioning. Making peace with yourself, or your dog, or your local Yeti, or whomever and whatever. Those in heart find peace making itself right where they are. Ride the wave. Pretty neat. What do you want? Really, if you could have whatever you wanted, whatever your heart wanted, that is, you know, more along spiritual lines, what would that be? $1 million, or $1 billion, or even multi-trillion dollars or euros wouldn't bring you peace or happiness. Besides, we don't want those things for themselves. You want the money because of what you can do with it, not for its own sake. Just take a look into the eyes of those who have that kind of fortune. I don't see any peace there, any happiness at all. Yet, the powers that were have us working so hard during our working life that we easily get focused on the money we think we need. Well, let's take another look at that, the new perspective. Anyone who takes a serious look around, be right back, Okay. Anyone who takes a serious look around, taking in a good cross-section of the wealthy, the rich and famous, and the rich and clandestine, won't find a teaspoon of happiness among them. Instead, it's a really defensive and cutthroat life they lead. Those who strike it rich, whether via Hollywood or the lottery or whatever, just exchange one set of challenges for another set. Now, actually, for them, it's not challenges, it's real problems. That's how they see them, anyway, small, medium, and large problems. We don't think about such things, tied as we are, nose to grindstone, laboring on. Yet if we just relax, take in a deep breath, and do a bit of pondering, well, I'm quite confident we could shift the way we see these things. Let's let in a bit more truth, shall we? Those are definitely not happy people. Consider that. When you are having to be creative to make the grocery budget next month, don't let yourself be fooled that lots of money would fix all your problems. It won't. That's patently obvious, but we don't often look up long enough from the rut we tend to get in to consider it. Money is not happiness. So, what makes you happy? Really deep down, so happy, that is. What rings your chimes? Do you know what I'm hearing or sensing? Loads of people are considering what joy it is for them to help others. People are a truly beautiful life form. As usual, we've been lied to and convinced that we're worthless eaters and not worth the ground that we walk on. Well, let's start rejecting such programming the next time it comes by to be entered into our sacred space. David Icke has it right about some things. One of them is the lovely little dance he recommends. He calls it the non-comply dance, I think, something like that. He dances across the stage arthritically. You know, he lives with pain too, right? Waving his finger in the air and giving a little wiggle or jig as he says no, 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 no thank you, and hell no. I like his style. Lots of heart. We can find ways to put heart into simply everything, you know. No need to reserve it for prayer time or sacred stuff and the like. Your every breath is sacred, my friends. No matter what you do at any point in time, you can choose to enjoy it more than you do now. They think, the powers that were, that they have robbed you of that choice by making it invisible to you. But they're wrong, as usual. They're batting 1,000 that way. On the negative side, they have lots of money, but very little else, just things. I can promise you wouldn't want to exchange your hereafter with them. Not at all. Life is short. Eternity's a long time. So, don't even imagine what their afterlife has in store for them. Don't pollute your mind with it. Instead, envision the beauty of the world you are daily creating. How's that? With your every thought, word, and deed. Don't forget, thought creates. And your reality is the screen. So you're doing that even right now. Pretty amazing, huh? I think so anyway. Life is loads more amazing than we've yet been told. But we're starting to find that out for ourselves. It's because we're divine. We simply can't be held down for very long. Like a beach ball held underwater, it must be strongly held, constantly supervised, for at the first inattentive moment, right up to the surface it pops. So, we make it not worth their while to so closely supervise us and hold us down. We all do the non-comply dance. We do it in such numbers that they can't possibly take us all down. It's our getting together, not publicly, but in heart and in intent, that terrifies the powers that were. And they're truly frightened. Not only are they not happy, they're pretty openly terrified. It's leaking out. If you haven't heard, then you're probably just not listening, which is fine. You have better things to occupy your heart and mind, like carving out your own happiness, for instance. Have you pondered enough yet to know, to be able to list some of the things that bring you deep joy? It's time and past time to get to know the self, my friends. And making such a list is a beautiful meditation. Self-observing will help a great deal, but it takes more than just that, such as actively, openly, generously caring for your very own self. Self-respect is high on my list as well. When we have true self-respect, we won't let the mind continue in its abusive ways, the terrible self-talk. See, the evidence is all around us if and when we only take a good look. Do you love yourself or not? Have a listen to your self-talk. That'll give you a hint. It's a way to take the temperature on that one. Now, I know the way we've been trained and programmed makes it darn challenging to master and make friends with the mind. I know. Still, it can be done. What man has done, man can do. And when I say man, I always mean woman too. That's what they don't want us knowing about the, that's why they don't want us knowing about the great advanced prior ages that put this one in the shade. It might give us ideas. Poor scared Illuminati, so terrified of us. They wouldn't be going to such lengths to poison every square centimeter of Earth and the environment and our bodies and minds if they weren't out and out terrified of what we could do. See, friends, they project all of that fear, their fear, on us all the time. Well, it's their fear. I hope at least some of you can sense the truth of this. They are so frightened they're falling apart. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean externally. Most of it is subconscious, but a whole lot of it is right out in the open. They're scared. All of their secrets and secret meetings and deals and arrangements keep spilling out everywhere. WikiLeaks is a great example, but not the half of it. Just look around. And consider this. They have not been able to corral to get their filthy hands on one Julian Assange. One single guy. That is absolutely not the way they're used to running things. Do you see what I'm saying here? You see their power structure crumbling everywhere? if you believe they're all powerful, then you won't be able to see such things unless and until they're pointed out to you. And maybe not even then. Beliefs are powerful, so see to your beliefs. Adopt the ones that are friendly to you, not to them. We have it a lot better than we think we do, until we'd throw off, I'd say, at least 50% of the programmed beliefs we were fed. We're still half blind to the wonder that is our life. We, you and I, are some of the most privileged beings in all of cosmos. Just to be in a body on this earth at this critical time. They were standing 10 deep, maybe 100 deep, for each body that came available. Yet here you are, here I am. Did you ever give thanks? Might be a nice idea. There is nothing that can multiply what you already have more than gratitude. Nothing I know of, anyway. A grateful heart is an abundance generator, a multiplier of light, of anything it touches. Are you aware of this? Ponder, meditate on gratitude. Check it out. I am not joking around, nor am I out on a limb with this. It's a good, solid fact of the metaphysical kind. Actually, I'm confident it's also some sort of higher physics than our dyed-in-the-wool scientific community is willing to see. They're self-imprisoned in their own rigid structure of beliefs. Well, leave them there. There's no need for you to suffer with anyone. Walk away. Set yourself free to just be, to enjoy every moment you have life and breath, to script your own story. You give your best service when you're free. Set yourself free as you can, to celebrate life. Life is worthy of our celebration. We've just got to rearrange and shift our beliefs first. Remove some of them, or we'll never see what is there for which to express joy and gratitude. Do consider. Beliefs create, right? Have you seen that yet? Well, what is it to create? It's to bring something down from the higher dimensions, down from the etheric to the mental, then on down into the physical, through the emotional along the way. It's to make something solid that was not solid before. It's to pull it in from the invisible, getting more and more solid, more and more substance as it approaches 3D. Can you see it like that? If you do, then you're in good shape to see the other side of beliefs, the way they tie you up or tie you down. For every single belief we hold, our vision is dimmed just a bit. It's restricted based on the parameters of that belief. A belief will prevent us from seeing that which disagrees with or obviates it. So, at a very minimum, each belief comes with its own custom set of blinders. Most of them are minimal, but we have so many beliefs that in the end it's a huge limitation to our free sight, on our vision. Beliefs, being the good little creatures of mind that they are, constrict and restrict us, causing us to see the world through our own beliefs' lenses, which are strictly 3D and linear, for the most part. They only allow us to see what quite agrees with them unreservedly. No visual dissonance allowed. Do you see? Do you see or begin to sense how this works? Each belief, in its own way, comes with its own ball and chain. Some of them are feather light, don't weigh that much, but in concert, together, they weigh an awful lot. Now, all of this weight, lest it get you down and feeling burdened, is placed only upon the mind. You are spirit. You cannot be weighted down nor even touched, my friend. So, to the extent that you identify with the mind, you may feel weighted down. But you can break those chains. You can even cast them off entirely. Just come down into heart. No weights of any kind exist there, not even gravity. You are as free as you want to be. Make room for it. Hear it from heart. You are as free as you want to be. Stay away from mind with its idea. It's another one mind is guaranteed to misinterpret thoroughly. Stick with heart and hear it as free as you want to be. You are spirit, friends. You are quite weightless, in fact. But what do you identify with? Is it how you've been taught? Or how much of that have you thrown away? Set the self free. It's up to you, you know. No one is coming along to do this for us. We are the way showers, the freedom party, who are here leading the way. Yes, even in our semi-chained down state, we're still far and away ahead of the rest, of the sheeple, the sleeple, the hypnotized ones. They'll be waking up soon, though, and in droves. Visualize this with me. Do it often. Don't buy into any of the Illuminati fear porn, the death drivel they're passing out like candy. Throw it away. They're making you want a savior, a rescuer, someone who can come and make it all better. And then they're going to promote themselves for the job. That's what happened with 9/11 and the Patriot Act. Better yet, the fear porn, don't pick it up in the first place. You have no need of any more weight. You've got quite enough. See yourself in a hot air balloon, throwing off ballast. Pitch those sandbags. Let the self float free, high above. Be weightless, just as you are in spirit. We are the little g gods, my friends. So much hinges on remembering that, on figuring out just who we really are. You are divine. Do what you can to accept this. Make friends with it. This is empowering. It also helps you link up with your heart, since there's no way that mind can deliver on this one. You are divine. Well, how can a divine being possibly be weighted down? Have you pondered this one? If you have, then maybe you've realized that there's really only one way. By the divine being's choice. Gods are not forced into anything, friends. Throw away that idea with the trash, with yesterday's newspaper. It's worse than worthless. It's poison. And it's simply a lie. Yet, only you can be the one to set yourself free. No one else can do this for you. Nor do you need anyone else's help to do it. You have amazing power you've not been calling upon, but it's there for you. Always has been. They just hypnotized us into believing it isn't so. They fed us their lies instead, and we were young and innocent, so we bought into them, of course. Well, what we bought into, we can buy out of. We can discard. It's beliefs that are the real stock in trade of the powers that were. Look around and see how they constantly shove them on us. Everywhere you look, you're being marketed to in one fashion or another. You're being sold a bundle of goods in which there is not one iota of truth. Truth is completely pure. It cannot be adulterated, even in the least, or it's no longer truth, it's something else. Let's reach for the stars, my friends. The stars are our true home anyway, and they all exist right within who you really are. We contain the cosmos. This whole thing is one huge mirage or reflection. So are we. The we who we were convinced that we are. It's all part of the lie. That's why it is vitally important for each one to deeply investigate their very own self. Find yourself. This is the time, the day, and the age for it. This is the rarest time that has ever been anywhere. We are taking these forms right up into higher frequencies with us. And the dear Mother Earth, the plants, the animals, it's all coming along. This is huge. Can you see it? Can you sense it? If not, then you're still too weighted down. Time to ditch a few more old, worn-out beliefs. Well, I've gone on as far as I can for now. The back is hurting and it gets too distracting to deal with and still keep this high vibration. So I'll close it out now. We are the ones, my friends. We came here to do just this, just what we're doing, which is miracles. Miracles are our everyday food. We are divine. One final caution about taking anything that's been said here into the mind. Mind will screw it up. Go by how you feel when you ponder something or when you think. If it makes you feel bad in any way, just stop. Get back into heart and look again. Don't trust anything that makes you feel bad. And don't trust mind, not until it's become the friend and companion of heart. Namaste.